Hello, friends. I've got a good word for us today. It's about being free from fear. Yes, fear, because it's running rampant now. But a real scripture that's been important in my life for many years is 2 Timothy 1:7, which says, and you all can probably repeat it with me, God has not given me a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. And I just recently returned from a visit in my hometown, which is Pawnee, Oklahoma. And I was reminded of some really great stories about courageous women. And then I thought, I remember that Paul, in writing this to Timothy, he had a couple of other statements in the verses, two verses ahead, starting with verse 5, and that's why I wanted to read with you, because he's talking to Timothy, and he said, I call to your remembrance, and that's what I want to do for us today, the genuine faith that is in you. God's given you faith, given me faith. And he goes on to tell Timothy, which dwells first in your grandmother, and he gave her name Lois, and then your mother Eunice. And I am persuaded it is in you also. So he is encouraging him about the faith that was in these women, the lives they lived in front of him, and that he has that same faith. And so I thought of a couple of examples in my own life. My grandmother Greasel, she passed away when I was 12, but I do remember the stories about her. And she was widowed, had 4 young children, courageous woman. And they told a story about her that the Ku Klux Klan formed in our town. And the men would ride down the street on their horses, of course, covered with this white sheet. And she would walk out to them, and she said, I know who you are. She said, and I'll use the example, Joe Smith, I recognize your horse. And why are you doing this? And she was calling these men out because they were doing something that was so against her faith, her convictions, and what God knew. So that was a great story about a courageous woman of faith. The other is about my mother, who would attend Bible studies and teach Bible studies, but this particular Bible study in the Methodist Church she attended, she was just attending it. And they began to tell her, oh, these scriptures don't apply for us today. This is not what we should even be thinking about. And so she waited, because she knew what Jesus had said. He said, if you know me and you abide in my word, then the truth of my word is going to set you free. So she just began to talk about what the scriptures really said, and I believe it turned some people's hearts, because she was courageous to stand against the things that had been said to her. So anyway, I was just wanting to share about the women of faith in my life and how thankful I have been to watch what they did, how they impacted people. And I think that as Paul was encouraging Timothy, he is encouraging you to be women and men of faith, to step out and do courageous things in this hour that we're living in. It goes on. I wanted to read the passage, though. This one, when it goes in, Paul then turns to Timothy and says, for God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power and of love and a sound mind. Now, sound mind means, and this is really important for us right now, means good judgment, disciplined thought patterns, and the ability to understand and make right decisions. It includes the qualities of self-control and self-discipline. That's what is available to us today, because that is the spirit that God's given us, a spirit of power, love, and a sound mind, able to make right decisions. And as women and mothers, grandmothers, spiritual mothers, it's the time for us to press in on prayer, and that's what I wanted to share with you. We sent out messages on Facebook and on our Constant Contact and on our website about campfires for prayer, and we're inviting you to join us. We're going to be praying for 3 months through part of November, but we believe it's time to stand up now, pray for our nation. And as we do this together, we are going to see God move in behalf of our great United States of America. I love you all. I thank you for joining me, and join us in prayer.